Depending on when this video is posted, maybe in a few hours, maybe it'll still be a couple of days from now, but at this point it's pretty inevitable. I'm going to see my team go to the NBA Finals for the 4th time in my life. Saw it once in 08 when I was a 8th grader. Saw it a couple of years later, went to the finals, lost a Game 7 I never recovered from. And I had to wait a whole 12 more years to get back and face the Golden Dynasty. Lost that one, probably a winnable series, lost it. And now they're gonna go back. And yeah, they basically got a bye on the way to the finals. And in this video, more or less, I'm kind of just here to tell you how much I don't care. Now, conventional wisdom says you don't care, but you're making a video about it. You're acknowledging it. You probably care. Well, the thing is, I'm a fan of the team. This is kind of my job. And I figured I could offer some perspective for people who are watching and maybe aren't fans of the team. And this is not even a difficult topic to discuss at all. It takes almost no thought. On one hand, it's like people are going on and on about how weak this run is and Mickey Mouse Conference this, weak East that, and I agree. Yes, as the fan base that is supposed to be, or part of the fan base that is supposed to feel some type of way towards these comments, I don't. You're right. This shit sucks. As a matter of fact, probably in a month or two on my main channel, you'll see a video where we examine why the East really is bad more often than it's great. We have more years that are closer to this than the years like, let's say 2019, or hell, even last year, where there's 3 or 4 teams and you don't know which one is going to come out of the East. In my time as a fan, I feel that it's very rarely ever been, it's very rarely ever been that way. I will concede, this is the worst. This is the worst East I have probably, yeah, I'm going through all the years I've really paid attention. Everyone was injured. So you go against the Heat, who I specifically wanted to see Boston go through for the purposes of kind of conquering the demon the way the 21 Bucks did. Just get that out of the way first before you go on and play any other teams. I thought that would be a great tune-up. Jimmy Butler was injured, more players got injured. Series meant nothing. You play the Cavs, who they were going to beat anyways, and Donovan Mitchell gets hurt. You play the Pacers, who they were also going to beat, and then Tyrese Halliburton gets hurt. So yeah, I am damn near part of the way through trademarking the term everything in life is optics. The optics are terrible. I think the thing from the perspective of someone actually watching and liking the team is I'm more disappointed there was no challenge, because I'm worried what that means for June. In terms of who they played, and just that topic by itself, yeah, I wish the games would have been more entertaining. But what do you want the team to do? Are they supposed to be forfeiting those matches? Are they supposed to try to lose on purpose? Do they sit 2 of their stars? Because Porzingis has been missing since damn near the beginning now. So are they supposed to sit 2 of their stars and try to make it fair? I don't know what people want from them. And this is coming from someone who has both acknowledged how tough it was for nothing to go wrong for LeBron James, nothing to go wrong enough for him to not make the finals 8 straight times like he did, and also acknowledge a lot of the times he did so, the conference sucked. I never took those runs away from him though for that reason. It's like, this is where I always say, and specifically on the internet, I'm old enough now to know you just don't expect nuance in conversations. You don't expect well thought through concepts. But for LeBron, that is how I consumed the 2010s. Damn, it kind of sucks to watch him always have 1 or 2 other stars next to him, and the best team he's gonna have to beat in the East to get to the finals is probably some squad that really can't get the job done. It was damn near always like that. It was 2 candy ass teams and 1 team that maybe if they get lucky they can beat or whatever he was, LeBron, Cleveland or Miami. Most of the time it was that way. Only times I say it wasn't was 2018. Obviously I don't even think he should have made the finals that year. If it wasn't going to beat an injured Boston, hell, Toronto should have at least scarred him up a little bit, and they didn't. And 2015, Kevin Love got hurt, Kyrie was limping around. I thought Chicago had a great chance to get it done that year. So anyways, I'm just bringing LeBron into this because he had the grip on the East before the Celtics, who are now going to go to the finals for the second time in, what is this, 3 seasons, and have been to the conference finals so many times since 2017. I done lost fucking count. But okay, even there, right? People, or the Celtics, are just getting so much shit about this run. Like, they didn't go to the finals 2 years ago and beat 2 teams that year, I believe, were squads that were worthy. And coming into it, people were saying, hey, maybe they could beat Boston. So yeah, I will give you Milwaukee. Second round, Chris Middleton plays. They probably don't win that series. They probably don't beat the 2022 Milwaukee Bucks. They went to 7 with them, and well, we had a Grant Williams legacy game to get us over the top. Then I can look at this Bucks team and say, oh yeah, but hasn't injury problems, and also specifically with Chris Middleton, haven't those been the issue with them now for pretty much all these runs? They've had more runs injured and then not injured in the last 4 years. Okay, though, coming into the Nets series, people were saying, oh, everyone's trying to dodge the 2022 Nets. No one wants to play them in the first round. Well, the Celtics did, and they swept them. And then they almost fumbled to the Heat, and they beat them in 7, and they won a game 7 on their home road, on their home floor. And to even beat Milwaukee, Jason Tatum had to have a legacy game in game 6. And so they've made it through a tougher conference before. Can you say it should have been even tougher with a healthy Bucks team? Yes, I can do that for so many runs though. Okay, anyways, back to before I got on a couple of tangents there. I'm just thinking about this run in terms of, are they prepared for the first time they play a serious team to be literally the NBA finals? Because that's the tough part. I don't believe anybody truly thought the Celtics were going to lose in the East this year. I think a lot of people thought it was possible because at times they display just brain dead capacity on offense. It happens quite a bit. And so, yeah, there's always hope that the Celtics can fold. Just coming into it though, who did people say were going to beat them? At the very beginning, it was the Bucks, but people gave up on them halfway through the season because of their turbulence. I don't think anybody seriously outside of New York thought a healthy Knicks team was going to beat them. If anybody was going to, I will admit, it probably would have been them. And yeah, they just, the whole roster went away. So I get it. Then again, for me, it's more about not having that challenge, because now the way it appears here at halftime of Mavs Timberwolves is Boston will be playing the Dallas Mavericks, who have Kyrie and Luka, and they have long, versatile defenders. They got shooters. If Lively makes it back here, they've got a lob threat. That's just a really talented team who have put it all together at the right time. And every single team they played so far has had a deficiency, whether it was a squad that only had 1 star, or they had stars and there was no defense, or there was injuries. And so I'm worried about it from that perspective. I guess the feeling I would try to convey could probably only be understood by people who, and I don't even mean this in a funny way or demeaning way, I genuinely mean people who have seen their team go to the finals or have taken long breaks in between seeing their team in the finals. I think it probably is something they could understand, because this shit doesn't happen a lot, man. Unless you get an overwhelming super team like Golden State had once they added Kevin Durant. We knew they were probably going to the finals 90% of the years they were going to have KD, because we thought it was probably going to be more than what, the 3 they had him for. Or if you are LeBron in the Heatles, you know you're probably going most years, if not every year. So the Celtics this year, they put Drew and KP on the team, and what did people say? People who hadn't watched Kristaps Porzingis in a long time are going, oh man, this is an injury prone guy, which is true, definitely, as you see. But no, it's an injury prone guy. But then a lot of people just didn't even know he was still a great player and had quietly put together a fucking beast year in Washington. Apparently a lot of front offices didn't know because they didn't trade for it. So there's KP, and then there's Drew, who people just said was going to be a replacement Marcus Smart in the playoffs and is going to be full on CTE. I looked at it and went, damn, I don't know what else you could even do to this team. If this one doesn't win, if this version doesn't win, I don't know what will. What can you add to JT and JB that'll actually get them over the top? and now they are presumably there. I agree with something I saw B-Saw say. He basically said at the end of the day, coming into this season, they were always going to be judged on championship or bust. I agree with that, and I'm not naive enough to hope that's how the rest of the well, frankly, I don't really care how the rest of the fan bases will see it. I'm not naive enough to even think it's how they will see it though. Even when those were the parameters set before the season, nobody gave a damn about round 1, 2, or 3, or if Tatum averaged 40 in the second round. Nobody cared. They care if they win a championship, which they do absolutely have to do, because after going through a conference as injured and yeah, mostly as injured as this one, if they don't win it, oh boy. Anywho, beyond wishing my squad would have had proper tuning before an NBA championship series, I don't care, man. In 09, I wanted nothing more than to get back to the finals after watching them win in 08, and it didn't happen because of injury. In 2010, I wanted nothing more than to see them win it. I knew they could. Kevin Garnett was back. They went through this entire season of being underrated because of their record and how old they were. Boom, one went away, and I just assumed, all right, cool, they're gonna have a beast ass off season. Third time is gonna be a charm. They don't go back until I'm a grown ass man. Mind you, before they get back, when I'm a grown ass man, they went to how many conference finals? 17, 18, 20. So yeah, 3 conference finals. One year, which was just a disaster, where everyone thought they were going to the finals, and injury riddled 2021, crazy tease in 2023. It takes a long time, bro. The road is hard. You have got to constantly be hoping nobody's going to tweak an ankle on the roster, or nobody is gonna injure their calf while they're walking and go away for a month. I will never try to defend this 2024 run through the East. It sucked. I had a chemistry teacher when I was in the 10th grade who she didn't care if you did your work or your assignments or actually tried on your assignments. As long as you turned it in, she put 100 on it. She was real as fuck for that. I'd have gotten cooked in chemistry if she didn't do that. Anyways, the point is that's basically the Celtics run this year. They showed up, they put their name on the paper, they got 100 in the class. I will never deny it. I will also pose the question to you, what do you want anyone to do about it? Do you not want the fan base to be happy if they do go on to win the finals? Do you want them to appeal the NBA to postpone the series until everyone can get healthy? I don't know what the solution is. And what are they supposed to do in line with that? Are they supposed to go to the finals and lose on purpose because the East wasn't hard enough? I don't know, man. It kind of feels just like two things can be true. Who knows what's going to happen with whichever team they play? It just kind of feels like you can go through a bad conference and still be an NBA champion, especially if the team you beat is on equal footing or they're a competitive team. And reading the tea leaves, it don't sound like people are any higher on Boston than they were last year in terms of their ability to beat a team as good as them or one that can play with them. So yeah, here in about 2 or 3 weeks, if they defeat either of these West teams, I would hope at minimum people could acknowledge the East sucked, but they went on and they beat everyone who was in front of them, including the West teams. People were routinely saying, oh, they're not gonna be able to beat them though, they're not gonna be able to deal with such and such. The same way I have looked at LeBron's runs in retrospect and said, you know what? It didn't really move me that the 16 Cavs played the Pistons, and who else did they play? Hawks in Toronto? That is a horrible run. But they went to the finals and they beat the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. Or okay, you don't like that one. 2013, who did the Heat play in 2013? I think they played Milwaukee. They played Chicago without Derrick Rose and lost a game. Then they played the Pacers, who everyone was just learning about for the first time, but they beat the San Antonio Spurs. And so nobody looks at the run. They beat the Spurs, it happened. 13 Heat are one of the most impressive teams of all time. Yeah, that's really all I got to say. Boston, please just go actually do it. Because if you lose after this ass conference, I can't help you.